Hi folks, Matthew Lanigan here with BayWa RE. I see people are just signing in here, so we're just going to give it about 2 minutes and we'll be back with you and get things started. Thanks. Hi folks, Matthew Lanigan here again with BayWa RE. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer here at BayWa. Really appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day to be with us and our fantastic partner, JA Solar. Just a couple of housekeeping notes before we get started. This will be recorded. It will be placed up on our YouTube channel shortly thereafter. We'd appreciate it if you haven't signed up for our channel already. We would love it if you would. It'll also be released in the next monthly newsletter as well. We will be taking questions. We'll take them on the fly, so you can just put them in the bottom right corner as we go. JA is a tremendous partner of ours. We've sold over 10 million of their modules globally. We do about 1 gigawatt annually with them. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Kevin McConnell to give a little more in-depth review of the product. Kevin?
That's great. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate that intro. And I just want to say hello to everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're at. And thanks for joining. I think it's a really, really great partnership we have with BayWa globally and in Canada, certainly. So we're very happy to be partnering with BayWa in the Canadian market. They've done a great job for JA here in the market for the last few years, and we look forward to continuing that next year and beyond. So I'll just give me a quick moment. There we go. So what I'd like to do today, and please ask questions as we go. We're happy to field those. But I'll just give you an introduction to JA Solar. Talk a little bit about what's happening in the global markets and how that affects Canada, and then specifically a little bit about the Canadian market and the discussion about bankability, what does it mean, and our technology as well. With that said, JA Solar is a very vertically integrated manufacturer of high performance solar modules. We have a very strong commitment to technological innovation, reliability, sustainability, and development. And we're certainly a leading player, top 3 in the industry. We've got a comprehensive range of modules for residential, commercial, and utility scale applications, and well known for our bankability, durability, reliability, and resistance to harsh environments like we have in the Canadian market here. We were established in 2005, listed on the NASDAQ in 2007. We've got also listed on the Shenzhen Stock Exchange with over 50,000 employees, about 11 billion in revenues in 2023, over 200 gigawatts, well over 200 gigawatts now shipped globally, and we cover 165 different countries. We've got about a 14% market share, and which is actually very high, and I believe it's the highest in the industry. And again, we're on a Fortune China 500 and a global top 500 new energy enterprise as well for many consecutive years. So just to, this is a bit of a timeline on our technologies. So you can see in 2011, mono and poly, we had great efficiencies. Then began our P-type mono with a 20% efficiencies. This basically in 2019, we started with our Bicium N-type mono, which is a proprietary technology. And we were achieving cell efficiencies well over 23%. That is now up close to 26% now. So quite an evolution, and we really rely on innovation and R&D. It's what keeps us relevant, not just now, but in years to come. And you can see that we've continued with the evolution of that. Just looking at our worldwide branches, we cover, you know, global markets, and you know, you can see a little bit about our sales and percentage of installations by region. Americas are well up over 14% and growing. That's quite a growing market for us, obviously, in North America. And this is just a look at our branches worldwide. You can see that we are represented in Canada, the US, and throughout the Caribbean and South America and Central America. For the Canadian market, we have a North American-based logistics, operations, and engineering post-sales help. So we are all basically here in the North American market. A large group of us is in California, and that's for post-sales support, engineering support on future projects. So we can, you know, we're very active and nimble for the Canadian market. Just looking a bit at the global market, we've seen some incredible growth in 2023. The market grew by about 87%. This year, it's been about a 40% growth, and we're going to see continued growth through 2025. Part of this growth, excuse me, has had a big effect on the market. We've seen some, you know, quite a bit of expansion from, you know, wafer cell right through to the module. Production facilities have really expanded. We've seen pricing drop year over year the last 2 years. 2024 has seen a global price drop of about 40%. And frankly, it's not particularly healthy for the industry. Right now, we're seeing, you know, prices in Europe in certain markets that are you know, below cost. So frankly, the industry needs to get a little bit healthier on the manufacturing side. I think 2025, we should see some better stabilization on market pricing. We could even see some consolidation within the industry. And we've, you know, seen a few very interesting things happen in the last month or two out of China. with the Chinese government detaining modules for IP infringement, as well as clamping down on expansion of manufacturing facilities. So we've seen quite a bit of change this year, tremendous amount of growth, and oversupply in the marketplace, and those things have led to reduced pricing in the market, which again, I think it's a healthy thing to see that stabilize and perhaps hold for the foreseeable future, and that's what we expect in 2025. And looking at the Canadian market, I think this is, the global markets do have a tremendous effect on the Canadian market, especially in pricing and availability. What we're seeing is these global prices in Europe and South America, they're extremely low. On large, spot buying somewhere around 10 cents USD. Canadian market obviously is a little bit higher, and the US market, due to the tariffs, are considerably higher than the Canadian market. So we sort of fit in between the global, European and US markets in terms of pricing. The presence of JA Solar in the Canadian market has been quite substantial in the utility market. We've supplied quite a few of the utility projects in Alberta, as well as a couple of them in the East Coast of Canada. We've got very strong support for distribution, residential, and commercial partners. And for 2025, we're looking at an all-black 445 to 450 residential product. And our commercial utility product will be 585 up to 615. There's two different options there. The Canadian market, we've also seen, the Bill C-59, the ITC. It's been announced for quite some time, and I think we're going to see finality of that within September. I know a lot of people have been holding off building projects that were slated to go ahead so that they can capture the ITC, and some people are going ahead with them and retroactively will be using that tax credit. But also in the Canadian market, we've seen a lot of really good policy in the last few years with municipal and provincial governments. We're expecting strong growth in the residential commercial sectors, somewhere between 20 and 30% year over year, based on these favorable policies that we're seeing coming out. And there's some that say that growth could even be higher. So we will wait to see, but I think it's fairly conservative to say 20 to 30% expectations that we're seeing in the market. The other big news in the Canadian market is, of course, Bill S-211, forced labor and child labor in supply chains. So JA Solar is very aware of this. We've dealt with very similar legislation in both the EU and the US, and so we fully comply with all of the requirements. And we have everything ready to go for the Canadian market in case of some discussions with the CBSA on that. So we're in a good place on that. We are prepared and fully compliant, and have been for many years, frankly. I think bankability is a really interesting concept that we deal with in our industry. And it really, if you look at some of the bankability reports, the bar seems to be quite low, and I hear quite a few people talking about this issue. What really is bankability, and how can so and so be bankable? We see a lot of that in the industry. And I think in terms of bankability, we really need to look at two things. One is certainly the financial aspect of a module manufacturer, but also the testing of modules and compliance with various regulations and expectations on performance. So essentially, when looking at bankability, it's a evaluation of financials, technology roadmaps, and certifications. There's a strong technical evaluation, including design, performance analysis, installation manuals, PAN files, etc. Quality and reliability. So we all go through a lot of testing to make sure that that in the lab to make sure that the products are meeting requirements, as well as reliability benchmarks. We do factory audits. We have inspections regularly, and we have a lot of utility developers that will also look to have a third-party engineering firm evaluate all of this on top of the evaluations that are already available in the market. They will look at product support, after-sales service and warranty, installation. They'll take a look at our performance in past installations and actually perform site visits there as well. So just
we do have one question. Garth asks, are the physical sizes of the modules getting bigger?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So what we've seen, you know, and I've been in project development and manufacturing in solar for about 16 years. Every year seems to be a struggle between racking manufacturers and module manufacturers. And to the point of how can we reduce costs? I think what we're seeing is, you know, with the requirement of people installing projects and developers, you know, they want a cheaper racking solution, they want a cheaper module solution. So essentially, historically, the racking folks have limited the amount of steel or aluminum in their systems, which puts more of a burden on the module. And the modules have, you know, because we're under the same pressure from those same people to reduce costs. And I think we've really come to, I think, a watershed moment where I think modules have gone as far as they can without giving up performance and reliability. And I think that, you know, where we're seeing our production in the 610, 615 range, we also have a roadmap of 630 and higher. We do see some folks going to 700 watts. And I think for the Canadian market, that size module is not recommended, in my opinion. You're going to see way too much of a burden on the module, and in picking up the wind and snow loading. So in my opinion, what we're seeing right now on sort of the 585 to 610 range is about as large as I would recommend for the Canadian climate. We do see, you know, utility projects in a desert type location going to, you know, 700 where they don't have the wind or the snow loads that we do here. But yeah, definitely there's been a push to reduce costs and to increase the size of the product. I think the next evolution will be continuing the cell efficiency increases that we've seen over the last few years. And I think that that's going to be a major area for, you know, increasing power output without increasing the size of the module much more than it already has. So I hope that answers the question. In terms of bankability, JA has been year over year in RETC's top module highest achiever, as well as Kiwa PVEL top performer year over year. This year we were PV Module Tech's #1 performer, BNEF's highest rated bankability, and excuse me, another major one was Wood Mackenzie, which is a very comprehensive rating methodology that they have. And we were rated as the #1 module manufacturer based, both on bankability as well as performance and technical capabilities. This is from the BNEF survey of developers and financial institutions, in which we scored #1 with 100% confirmation from perception out there in the banking community that we are bankable. And that trails off, we are known in the banking, financial, lending institutions as a tremendously bankable company. This is from the Wood Mackenzie report that was released this year from 2023 analysis, in which JA Solar scored a 82.9 out of possible 100, which is #1 position. And again, that's a very comprehensive analysis. So we were very happy to receive that accolade. If you look at PV Module Tech, we come in with AAA bankability. And this is a list that I think is really important to understand. Again, we're obviously very happy to be, a AAA rated bankable module manufacturer. But when you look at what bankable means according to this, there's a lot of difference between that AAA tier and the other tiers in there in terms of bankability. And so moving over to our technology. Again, our proprietary technology is the BayCM Plus, which is our TOPCon cell. Our performance on that and efficiency on the cell side is extremely high. It's presently at about 26.8%. And so that's a tremendous increase in efficiencies for the module as well. So Deep Blue 4.0 is our TOPCon product, and we can achieve extremely high output with this module. We've gone to 16 bus bar. We have a high density encapsulation. Our wafer size is preferred on the rectangular version, and the encapsulation is a highly reliable methodology. This module will be available in between Q4 and Q1 on our TOPCon, and presently our PERC is certainly available. So if you look at what we've done with the high density encapsulation, you've got a few different options here typically in the industry. And what we've done is we've gone with extremely small spacing for high density encapsulation. So really putting the cells extremely close together without tiling them, which can lead to, or shingling, which can lead to losses as well. And this is a look at our BayCM Plus cell technology. Excuse me. You can see the 16 bus bar technology on the front, followed by our front surface passivization, selective emitter, the N-type substrate, RSP and passivated contact, and then the rear contact, rear surface SMBB, which again is the multi-bus bar. And again, these cells are over 26% efficiencies. So in addition to the Biceum Plus, we're looking at a specialized glass. It has much higher transmittance of the sun, as well as a high quality, high powered encapsulation and backsheet. And in terms of the cells, we're using the industry's finest laser cutting technology to reduce jagged edges that could turn into potential microfractures down the road. It's important to have those edges very, very clean. And one of the other things we do very well is lower radiance. And the Biceum Plus have a great, VOC and really allows for higher output and greater efficiencies at low light. Again, the temperature coefficient is down to less than 0.3% per degree Celsius of decline or increase, and so you can see that that's one of the critical elements when evaluating the modules is temperature coefficient. So you're looking at about a 1.5 to 2% gain over the over our PERC technology, which is great, great gain. And the other thing the Biceum Plus does for us is it gives us less degradation. Annual degradation is less than 0.4% per year over 30 years. So that's a tremendous gain in your warranties for the modules as well. First year is less than 1% degradation. And again, that's a 30-year warranty. So the Deep Blue X, which will be our next technologies, so the Deep Blue 3.0 is our PERC technology, and Deep Blue 4.0 is our TopCon technology. Again, our residential product is an all black 445 to 450, and on the commercial C&I utility, we've got our JAM 72 at about 615, and the JAM 66 is in around there as well. In terms of our global production and capacity, we've got about 85 gigawatts of ingot production. Wafers are also 85 gig. The cell capacity is 85 gigawatts, and modules, we have about a 95 gigawatt capacity. And what this allows us is, we've got, for certain markets or certain projects, we've got some flexibility in terms of using either our own cells, or in certain cases we might use additional cell. But right now we're running at about the 80-85 gig of our own module, which is very, very vertically integrated. A lot of folks will go to the market for wafers and cells, and really augment their production of module capacity with somebody else's cells. In general, JA is fully integrated for that capacity amount. We do have a 2 gigawatt facility going into Arizona for the US market, and that will be up and running shortly as well. What we're seeing here is some of our global strategic partnerships. I think the most relevant one is in the bottom left corner, which is BayWa. And as Matt mentioned earlier, BayWa and JA have a fabulous global relationship. Again, we do over 1 gigawatt of production with BayWa globally. And certainly in the Canadian market, BayWa's done an excellent job on distribution and product support for us. So we've been very happy about that relationship and looking at ways to continue it and to grow it as well. Here you're looking at number of our accreditations globally. We believe very strongly in opting into accreditations and getting all of the different reliability and bankability audits that we possibly can. We think it's good for the industry, and it's certainly good for JA Solar as well as our partners. And just looking at a few of our project references, I think you all know certainly that some of the references in your own areas. JA's got a very good presence on residential, commercial, as well as on utility. We're presently finishing up delivering a couple of large utility projects in Alberta, and we are due to start one in New Brunswick shortly as well. So again, yeah, just some of our different projects that we've done. I know that there is a market for floating projects, and some of the manufacturers have not been certified, but we certainly will look at options there. We do see these coming up a fair amount with wastewater or gray water areas that people are looking to put projects in on. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thanks, Kevin. Any questions out there, folks? Now's a great time while we have JA with us. I'm not seeing anything, but if you do have any follow-up questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our staff is well-versed on JA Solar. Just a couple of things before we go. You can find all the spec sheets, the pricing, the install manuals on our web shop. If you haven't signed up for our web shop yet, we'd really appreciate it if you did. Once again, this was recorded, so this will be out on our YouTube channel shortly, and it'll come out on our newsletter. Yeah, and if you have any additional questions, please reach out to us. We'd love to help you. And thank you, Kevin. Thank you, JA Solar. Really appreciate the support and hope everybody has a great day.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Matt. Thanks, BayWa, and thanks for everyone who joined. Appreciate it.
See you, everybody.